Hello, I'm Gabrielle Abbott, and I'm the creator of the Yoniflower Project, which uses art and creativity to help women connect to the eroticism and sacred feminine within them. I really think that it began when I was born. I've always known I wanted to be an artist. I remember even being 3 years old and telling my preschool teachers that drawing was my favorite thing to do. But I decided to pursue it seriously after I graduated from high school. And eventually, around age 30, I was able to go full time with it. And I've been full time now for over 4 years. When I first took the journey into studying art seriously, I thought I wanted to be a traditional oil painting portrait painter. And I went to an academy in Italy where they teach very, conservative traditional styles of painting. And I dove into that for about 3 years and loved everything I was learning, but left that program and realized I was bored. And it wasn't actually my sole expression of art. Now I primarily work as a muralist and street artist, and I also have the Yoniflower Project, which is my personal work that I do in my studio. Well, that project started actually as a personal art therapy project. I had for a really long time, ever since being a teenager, I had body dysmorphia about the way that my vulva looked. I thought that I was strange looking. I thought my labia were too long. I was really insecure. The only comparison I had for what a yoni or vulva was supposed to look like was through porn. And so not only was I asymmetric, but I didn't realize that it was normal to have labia. I thought that I was experiencing a body mutation and was just horribly insecure. I thought maybe no one would ever love me, and perhaps I should have surgery to get this deformity removed. I mean, I was so confused. And in my 20s, I decided to not carry that story anymore. And I got very intentional about trying to change my relationship to my body. And part of that was I was looking at a lot of images of the variety of women's vulvas and trying to really get comfortable with how women's bodies actually look. And through that process, I started to paint yonis as flowers to celebrate them. And I just painted them alone in my room again and again, drew them in all sorts of different ways for my own healing. And it really worked. It completely transformed how I felt about my body. I love my yoni today. I love her so much. I can't believe I ever didn't like her. It's so sad. But that's not the case anymore. And I realized through that so many women need this. And so the project then became public, and I started creating prints for people to buy and leading workshops for women to learn how to paint their own. And it just continues to blossom in a lot of ways. I want people to look at my work and feel a deep reverence for the feminine essence and the feminine body. And I also want them to recognize how pure and beautiful and natural and great our sexuality is. Our desire for sex, our sex organs, our sexual expression, that it is as perfect and needed and necessary as the flowers in our garden, the trees in the forest. It's equal to all those beautiful forces of nature which we admire and appreciate. I love the way I feel when I am creating the work. I feel like I am doing what my life purpose is, what I came here to do. I feel happy and in flow and connected to all the parts of myself, actually. It's like channeling, like the time just stops. I am completely absorbed in my painting, and I could just go for hours without eating or sleeping. When I was about 27, I went to grad school in London to do an MFA. And I thought that this experience was going to be the pivotal part of my career where I was sort of discovered by the art world. It was going to launch me. And what ended up happening was that I really struggled in the academic environment and I nearly failed the course. It was devastating for me. I felt like a failure. I felt completely rejected by the art world. I was confused about what had happened and why, what my part of it was. I really went through an almost 2-year kind of dark night of the soul where I felt, like I said, just utter rejection, shame, and even questioning whether I was on the right path. But it ended up being really the best thing for me. Overcoming the failure of my MFA program, that's my proudest moment, is my biggest failure. One thing I've been told, and one of the things I was actually told in art school, was that my work was too feminine. I don't believe there's any such thing as making art that is too feminine. My art is my expression of my truth and my reality and my experience here on earth. And I think that's really valuable. I don't need everyone to like it either. That's fine. But I think we need to make greater space for art that is feminine, and we need to elevate that at the same level as art that maybe feels more masculine. One of the things that I'm really passionate about is helping other creative people to step into their creativity as a profession. Not that you have to, but if you do feel called to do your art professionally, it really is necessary to get some training, because being a professional artist is different from being just making art. And so I created this course called the Quantum Artist, and it's a 10-week professional development program that really is the synthesis of everything that I've learned in the past 15 years about being a professional artist. And I'm taking a small cohort of 20 artists through this development. It's just great. The transformations are amazing, and it's really designed to help meet people where they're at, help them get very clear on their vision, who they want to be, what kind of life they want to have, and then start taking the action steps to get there with a community of support. When I think about why I'm really here on the planet and how short life is, I get my butt into the art studio. And, sometimes I go for a long period of time without remembering that. It's really easy for me to get caught up in the admin of running my business, chores, taking care of my house, these in relationships and things like that. But if too much time passes and I'm not connecting to my art, I start to feel an anxiety and a stress. And then I have to kind of remember, like, this is the most important thing, and life is brief and you don't have that much time to do it. So even if it's just an hour, just make the time and do it while you're alive and while you're here. I have a piece called Kundalini Yoniflower that I painted a couple years ago. This is my favorite piece at the moment, I think, because of all my pieces, this is the one that felt like the most like a channeling, where I didn't draw out any sketches beforehand. I didn't practice it. I just had this image in my head. I sat down and just did it, and it flowed out so effortlessly. I don't really know where it came from. It feels like it just came to me, and I know what the symbols mean to me, but I also, when I talk to people, everyone has a different interpretation of how all these elements fit together, which I also like. Just be yourself and do your best, and don't worry what other people think. I wish I'd taken that advice. I wish I had trusted myself to be myself a little bit more and tried less to fit in to what other people thought I should be, either professionally or artistically. I wish I'd given myself permission to be a little bit weirder and a little bit more authentic. I wish you'd asked me how my sex life has integrated with my artistic life, because it's something I love to talk about. And I feel that my sexual journey has really coincided with my artistic journey, in that the more I painted vulvas, yonis, the more I connected to my own through art and was exploring these forms, the more that my sexual experiences opened up into this whole new world of pleasure and consciousness and connection with my partner that was just deeply fulfilling. There's this capacity to just create this incredible love and nourishing, life-giving energy when you share your body in love and in bliss and in pleasure with someone special. And I think it's our birthright to feel that, to feel just totally accepted and blissful. And it's a path to God. It's a path to the divine and to the divine within each of us. And to really give yourself permission to like stay in that space rather than chasing an end goal, it just opens up so many delicious things.